Let's get this set up right. All right. Okay. Hello, knockouts. Tonya TKO here. And you know what? As a matter of fact, because I decided to do this video outdoors today because, as you know, I live in the great outdoors. I live off of the grid. It's starting to get hot in the sun, so I didn't want to be out in the sun, but I wanted you all to be able to see the beauty that I see each and every day. All right? All right. Somebody painted this rock before I got here, and it says, rock on. So I want us all to rock on. All right, so today we're going to be talking about something that I think is really important, and I want to make sure that you all can hear me. Give me a thumbs up if you can hear me well, because I have in my external microphone to be able to pick up good sound. So let me see if you can hear me. Put up a 1 if the sound is good. All right, welcome, welcome, welcome. Today we're going to be doing a lesson. I'm getting the board out. I think that this is an important lesson that every Black woman needs to hear, every Black woman especially, because there are a lot of elders in our society who are not teaching us these things. So I'm creating this as a longer video, and I'm going to chop this up into a smaller video, and I feel like I need some gloss on my lips. Give me 1 second. Ciao. All right. Sorry about that, but the front part will be edited out. I wanted to give more of you time to get in anyway. All right. So let's go forward. Let's go forward. Let me get my gloss on. Okay. All right. I wanted to do this video in my classroom, the great outdoors. I wanted to do this video so that you all can see what freedom looks like, what it looks like to live your dream, what it looks like to be in an existence where you are afforded the ability to live as you choose. If city living is your choice, whatever the case may be. But let's jump into the topic. We're going to talk about the rich man test. Today we're going to be talking about the rich man test. Hold on. Let me see if I could. Let's see. All right. All right. Until after I give the lesson, because I don't want to get distracted. I want to do this video, get the video done, get the video up, get the video up, and be able to begin to teach people. Because I am a woman who happens to attract men who have money. I'm a lifetime entrepreneur. I have been around money all of my life. I've created vast amounts of money, hundreds of thousands of dollars, and now going into the next iteration to take that 6 figures into 7 figures. So this is where I'm at. And I've always attracted men with money. And one of the things that I see happening online is there are women who are coming out saying, well, what if this broke thing is a quote unquote test? What if he's just testing me and I fail the test, right? It's a test, all right. Let's talk about, right? So let's go forward. Let me see how I can do this. The sun seems like it's going to come and catch us. You see it's coming over onto my forehead, right? So let's call this the rich man. Oh, you know what? I don't want to call it the rich man test. Let me call it the broke man test. Let's call it the broke man test, because that ain't a rich man's test. That ain't a rich man's test, right? So this is the broke man's test. There are a few different things that I need you to understand, right? There are a few different things that I need you to, let me turn the camera this way so that I don't have my back completely to you when I'm writing. All right. Broke man's test. there are a few different things that I need you to understand to set up the premise for this, right? And the very first thing is men and women are very different. The motivators of women are very different. The motivators of men are very different. Men live to please women. This is why there's so many constraints and so many controls that are attempted to be placed on the woman, on the female body, on women realizing their power, on women's empowerment. You remember during slavery how they would make it a law that a slave could not read, because as long as the slave was disempowered, the slave was able to be controlled. When women are disconnected from the power of their feminine divinity, they are able to be controlled. And so what's happening now is we have this shift that's going on where men who are broke are saying, well, this is a test, because if I don't have money and you don't want me when I don't have money, then I don't want you because I could be making a lot of money. So listen, this is one of the things that I need you to do. Don't just sit by passively and watch videos. Invest in yourself and your knowledge and your education. I did an hour-long course diving into what to look for to know whether or not your man will be wealthy, because it's not a dollar amount. There are habits and patterns that a human being will exhibit for you to know whether or not you're banking, whether or not you are making a good gamble or a bad bet. Listen to what it is that I'm saying. Because men, a man will generally only the woman that he is with will allow him to be. If a man is with a woman who is not wealth-oriented, there's only but so far that that man can get. There are two types of women in this world. Two types of women in this world, and I want you to pay attention to this list. The women who require more and the women who require less. There are two different types of women, right? The women who require more, they have standards. They have demands. The energy of abundance. The women who require less, they have little demands. They have low standards. And they have the energy of lack. So I'm going to explain to you why a lot of you women end up getting left when men get put on. It's because a man, remember we were talking about the motivating factors? A man wants the baddest woman for him. He wants the best that he can get. And the broke man test says, will you accept me when I have no money? Yesterday I put up a video asking what is the difference between a broke man and a mouse. A broke man will be like, oh, will you accept me when I have nothing? Will you accept me? They'll try to burrow into your home. They'll get with you because it's in their best interest. Some of you answered that question and you were like, well, they're trying to find shelter in the warm. They need food. Exactly. There are a lot of similarities between a broke man and a mouse. Go watch that video and leave your comment on it. So a broke man will say, oh, will you accept me when I have no money? Right? A wealthy man wants a woman who requires a man to have money. A wealthy man wants a woman who has standards. A wealthy man wants a woman that not every man can get. And this is why a lot of you end up becoming the come-up woman. It's just a matter of mathematics. It's just a matter of mathematics because of the nature of men and the stepping stone. It's just like a starter house or starter car. You are the starter woman who starts him up on the path that he needs to go into. You invest in him because it's in his best interest for you to invest in him. However, if you are the woman that requires less, he can only become as large as you will allow him to become in this relationship. When you're the woman who requires more, You allow him to soar up to the highest level of your demands and requirements. Remember I said that men are different. When I was in my 20s, I worked in a strip club, right? And I was able to learn and understand the psychology of men and their desires, and when they become aroused and when they have a of interest that they want to impress. I was a waitress in a strip club, so I was able to watch the dancers. I mean, high-end strip clubs. I began my studies in a high-end gentleman's club, and I continued my studies in a low-end strip club. And I was able to see the psychology of man, even when it comes to strippers, even when it's in that environment. What happens is a man gets into a flurried state. Men and women are very different. Men live to please women. There's so many people out there who are like, oh, but in many ways, men are like dogs, because you congratulate them, you give them kudos, you show them what it is that you want them to do, and you allow them to go out there and fetch. If you have little demands, little standards, and you have the energy of lack, once he has gotten to the highest place that he can get in this relationship with you, because remember, how do I put this? Let me see, how do I put this? Okay. The benefit that men bring into a relationship is the providing and the protection. That's the benefit that men bring into a relationship. In modern day society, the form of providing that we have, provisions that we have, the form of protection that we have is financial. The vast benefit that men bring into a relationship is going to be his physical presence of keeping you safe, of keeping you comforted, keeping you warm, and the money that he brings into the relationship. There is a direct relationship between the type of woman that you are and the type of money that that man brings in. Remember, because men are like canines, they will protect you fiercely. They will try to impress you. They live to please you. And this is something that men don't want women to know. Men live to please you. Everything that men do, from the style of their hair to how thing, to please you, because they want to get the best woman that they can get, and then they want to do the best for that woman. So what ends up happening is, woman who requires less, she's like, it's okay, I'm all right with a chicken dinner, with a chicken nugget dinner. I'm okay with Netflix and chill. And because he's in his mouse state, burrowing and looking for a warm place to be and looking for his come up, he's like, yes, this is what I need when I'm attempting to come up. He needs the help. He needs you to invest in him. However, you have to remember, you are a require less woman. You required less. So when he gets to the, and there are many different reasons why women require less. There's some women who are purposely attempting to keep that man small because she's like, he will not leave me, he will not go anywhere. And there are other women who are like, this is a good gamble, this is a good gamble, but you got yourself upon a bad bet. I created a course called Will My Man Be Wealthy? This is a course that you need to invest in. It's only $29. Go to my website and get the course. It's a digital course. You watch it right now. You do the PDFs and you pay attention to who's coming into your life and how they're coming into your life so that you can avoid being in this vicious cycle. So what ends up happening is you lower your worth. When you require less, when you have little demands, you lower your worth. You are the best that he could get at that stage in his life. What happens when his haircuts are looking fresh and you teach the man how to dress and now he's fly? He got himself an education that you helped pay for. He got himself a little whippity whip that you and your presence, you helping him get his credit together, all those things. There's a part of him that feels, we're going to dive into that in another video, but there's a part of him that feels emasculated because you did all of those motherly things for him. So you held the position of mother in his life. And there's a part of him that although he needed it, he resented you. I want you to think about this, right? Think about this and let this marinate on you. How many of you out there have ever slept with a man who was eager to sleep with you on the first night? And so you slept with him, and then all of a sudden, after you slept with him, he really didn't have much use for you. He was like, ugh, you're the type of BIT man on the first night. Ugh, you must have low standards. So when we talk about the broke man test, yeah, it's a test, all right. It's a test to see how low your standards are. Will you accept a bum? And then unfortunately, the same characteristics that brought you in the door, that kept him with you, are the same characteristics that push him away, because you are a require less woman. You are the come up woman. He uses you to come up, to get the woman, because remember, deep inside is that internal driving force. Because what he truly wants is he wants to be the best man that he can be. And he can't be that in this relationship. I'm going to tell you this, right? I have friends who struggle with money, and I have friends who are abundant. When it's time for, and I learned this the hard way, and many of you out there who are attempting to be entrepreneurs are learning this the hard way as well. When I attempt to brainstorm with my, I don't want to call them broke friends. I'm going to say the friends who have a poverty mindset or the mindset of lack. When I attempt to brainstorm with them, they're like, nah, that can't be done like that. That's never been done. What makes you think you can do that? Oh, how do you know you can do that? Oh, it's too much money. I wouldn't invest that. I like to get my courses for free. I listen to free material. The intro, they giving this stuff for free. I just go from platform to platform listening for free. Don't spend that type of money on that. Oh, I would never spend that on a coach. Those are my poverty lack-minded friends. My abundant friends, they're like, remember that story. Remember the story of the man, two different businessmen went to... Listen, our knowledge was too powerful, and YouTube bumped us out, right? YouTube bumped us out. So we're gonna rewind, and we're gonna go back into. We're gonna start with the story, right? Okay. So we're two different salesmen, two different businessmen who went to a foreign country. They both went there and saw that the people were barefoot. They were shoe salesmen. They went over to call his superiors and he said, you know what? This is not going to work. These people over here, they don't even have shoes, right? Salesman number 2, he got back on the plane, called his superiors, and what did he say? He was excited. He was like, oh my God, this is a wide open market. The people here don't even have shoes yet. He was a shoe salesman. One person saw it and said, oh, you know what? They're not going to buy my product. The next person came and said, listen, the market is wide open. When I speak to my friends who have the lack mind, they're like, nah, it's never been done. How do you know you can do it? My friends who are abundant, when I go to them and I brainstorm, they're like, wow. They're like, great idea. When they say it's never been done, they say it as a good thing. They're like, never. You are the first. It's never been done like that. You're the first. So I want you to hear, and this is the part where this becomes very important for you to hear and understand exactly what it is that I'm saying. This is why he leaves you. This is why he leaves you. He leaves you because when it's time for him to get to the next level, the same mindset that allowed you to let him run up in there with nothing, you were the best woman that he could get for that stage of his life. But as male nature denotes, listen, I told you I study evolutionary psychology. A man wants the best that he can get for the man that he is. And when he was a bum, shoes had holes in them, underwear had holes in them. When he was down and out, you were the type of broken ass, broke down bitch that he could get. But when it's time for him to come up, he's looking for a queen who has standards, a queen who has demands, a queen who has an abundance mindset. Because at the end of the day, he's looking for a woman who is an asset to him. You are no longer an asset because he's gotten what it is that he needs to get from you to get to where it is that he needed to get. And then when all was said and done, now he wants the girl whose body is perfect, whose mind is sharp, who's pretty as can be, who's younger, who's freakier in bed, who's a little thicker. They all know what it is that they want inside. And as the mouse, listen, when he's in his mouse stage attempting to burrow, you were the best that he could get, the best shelter that he could find then. But let me ask you a question. If a mouse had to choose between rummaging through the garbage and having a buffet out before them, a buffet of high quality foods, where would it go? You'd have to, I guess you'd have to depend on the mouse. But I will say this, right? I will say this. That is, it is a fundamental law of economics that supply and demand are directly related. Inferior goods, when you have less ability to afford, inferior goods are the goods of choice. The more money you make, there's an inverse relationship. The more money you make, the less you want inferior goods, the more you want superior goods. So what ends up happening is, there's two different things. I'm going to tell you another story. Remember, there's a story about Michelle Obama. Her and Barack went into a restaurant, and the restaurateur saw her and like, wow, he was so happy to see her. He rolled out the special service for them. And when he walked away, Michelle said to Barack, oh, you know, he and I, we used to date, right? And Barack chuckled and said, wow, well, can you imagine that? You could have been the wife of a restaurateur. And she was like, no, this is what Barack said. He was like, wow, if you had married him, you would have been the wife of a restaurateur. She said, no, if I'd married him, I'd have been the wife of the President of the United States. Remember, a man is only going to reach as high as the woman propels him to. It's an unfortunate fact. It's unfortunate because there are women out there, let me tell you, there are women out there, they say that they want a man with money, but when the man starts working, they're like, where are you? I don't see you no more. You don't come home. I need you to call me. Come home right now. Be home. Be with me. I need you to be with me. Come home. That's the woman who requires less. She's not really there to aid and abet him to really get to the next level, to make that money, because it will require things of him that she may not even have in her makeup to be able to allow to take place, right? Then when we come to the woman who requires more, she's brainstorming with him on ideas to get to the next level. She's like, go get it. Go get it. She has a full life and she's able to occupy herself. She doesn't need him up under her. She's like, she holds the presence in his life, that she is that motivating force, and she is the foundation that allows him to be able to go out there and get it. She's like, go get it. She got the bright ideas. This is a light bulb right here. She got the bright ideas. She has a life of her own. She has things going on in her own life. She's making her own money, most likely, because, listen, like attracts like. Like attracts like. And when a man gets to a certain level, he needs a woman who is an asset to him instead of a liability. Sitting up there talking about, oh, you have to come home now. Why are you always working? Oh, all of this, that's a liability to a person who really needs to go out there and grind and go get it. Also, if you really think about it, this man is a reflection of who it is that you are. When he's no longer that bum, where do you fit in his life? You're a require less woman. As a matter of fact, you may subconsciously and actively do things that'll make that man lose money, lose opportunities so that he can stay who it is that you attracted in the first place. At the fundamental base, there's so many of us out there who really don't know how to be abundant. We don't know how to do the things like I told you, I have associates who are poverty mindset-setted. They don't know, and I cannot fault them for not knowing. However, when it's time for me to brainstorm, I know where it is that I need to go to brainstorm. You know what I mean? I know where it is that I need to go. So let's wrap this up. Let's wrap this up. Let's wrap this up, and then I'll take some questions, and then I'm going to end the video, right? So the wrap up is this, right? So the wrap up is this. Men who are wealthy like women who have standards. That, oh, I got $15, so you're gonna accept me and let me into your gap. That's a test, all right. Only thing that he's testing you for is to see how low your standards actually are. Because he wants the best. The same man that'll try to sleep with you on the first night, that's a test as well for many men. There's some men, you know, the feeling and the connection is just so strong that you two just want to be in one another. That's a whole different situation. But the man who's out there trying to get it, trying to convince you, there's a difference between when two people come together and they're like, they mesh and they meld into one another, and they're like, they ascend to a higher level through the connection of their bodies. That's a different type of connection. But the man who's like trying to convince you, that's a man who doesn't mean you any good. He's out for his best interest. And that's the test. When he's like trying to convince you, yeah, come on, baby. Yeah, that's because he just want to get his tip wet or his whole thing wet. He just wants to get inside. He just needs that release for himself. He doesn't have your best interest at heart. And when all of a sudden, after he's gotten his release, he's like, nah, that's not the type of bee that I need to be with. I need to be with a bee who has some, or a queen who has some standards. I don't want to be with a chick like her who'll accept any man with nothing. At the end of the day, a man wants to prove himself. He wants to be rejected when he doesn't come correct. Deep down inside of him, he wants to fight hard. I don't understand. You doggone right. You hear that the Raven just came by and gave us its seal of approval, right? You doggone right, Raven. Nevermore. Nevermore. So listen, he has an internal driving force where he truly wants his subpar behavior to be called out. There's so many men, I'll tell you this, right? There's so many men who they come to my channel and they're like, don't no man want a woman like you. You got a big mouth. You this, you that. You be doggone surprised. Listen, there's somebody for everybody out there, but I will tell you this. When a man comes to me and he doesn't come correct and I look at him like this, he backs the F up. He goes back, he gets correct, and then come back. When I tell them no, ain't nothing to go so, no go down like that. Nothing to go so. When I go to them and I say that, oh, they pull up their britches. Listen. They pull up their britches, they tighten up their laces, they go do some training, and they come back. I kid you not. So it's like some people are like, oh, nobody wants a big mouth woman, nobody wants a woman, this, that, and the other. Oh, they love me. They love me because it is through my strictness. It is through my demands and my requirements that they know, listen, I cannot come to her with foolishness. Let me ask you this question. You rolling with me, let's say you're rolling with a woman. You're rolling with a woman. We're going to do two different scenarios. You're rolling with a woman and you pull up to the fast food drive-thru. One woman is like, I love me some nuggets. Now I can't wait. Give me all the nuggets I can get. Nuggets. Right, that's one woman. Next woman, you pull up to the fast food drive-thru, and she's like, what are we doing here? And she's like, no, thank you. You go ahead and you get that. I don't consume those types of foods. Or non-foods, franken foods, whatever you want to call them. One woman is like, It's okay. Take me to Chez La Frey. I'll get my own food. Take me to Chez La Frey. I'll get my own. Or she just even, oh, and he's like, what are you doing? You're like, oh, I'm just doing a cash, Grubhub. Oh, I'm doing a food delivery. Don't worry. I got it. Who do you think the man is? Listen, which person do you think the man is going to work harder to impress, to come correct? Because at the end of the day, he knows that he's not going to be granted entry unless he's able to come at a certain level. Now, listen, there's some men who are not up for it. There's some men who are not up for impressing you. Is that the type of man that you really want in your life? The type of man who is like, listen, I'm going to tell you this and I'm going to tell you this right now and I need you to hear me. I need you to hear me very well. Type of man who is like, look, say, baby, I only got $15 now. You hear? I only got 15. You come in or what? The type of man who will come to you and be like, I'm down on my lucks now, babe. I'm down on my luck. The type of man who will do that is not the type of man who feels that you're the type of woman that he wants to look good in front of. Why you coming to me telling me about your financial issues? Listen, I was raised in a household with men, and my brother learned very well from my father not to go out there and with no bullshit like that out on the damn street. My father would give my brother money when he was younger, give him money to make sure that he was able to take a girl out and have a good time. And if something happened where, listen, I told you all the story. I went out with this guy who said that he didn't have his wallet, and I was sitting there like, this may be some bullshit. He did what he needed to do. He got on the phone. He did some texts. He did whatever. And about 3/4, he was like, don't worry, sit there, enjoy. About 3/4 of the way through the meal, he stepped aside for a moment. He came back in and had the money. I don't know who brought him the money. I don't know how he got it. I did not ask. As woman, as recipient, I sat there and I enjoyed. And he went out, he did what he needed to do, he came back, however he handled it. That's the way a man does it. A man does not come to you with the broke man test. This is the broke man's test. A rich man does not make this test. A rich man, if a rich man is going to do a test, he may do the test to make sure that you're the type of woman who requires wealth. Because if you do not require wealth, if you do not know how to handle wealth, you become a constrictor. Women make men's lives better. Women make men, many of us waking up to this, like I told you, I study evolutionary psychology. Women, by the mere presence of us being in their lives, make their lives better. We help them live longer. We help them live safer. We help them make more money. By what end of this we're on, whether we require less or require more. When we require more, we make them go out there and soar. We're like, go out there and go get it. You got it. I believe in you. You go get it. You go get it. Or, oh, don't worry, Hercules, you good enough just as you ill. You good just like you ill, Hercules, you good just like this. Don't worry, baby, you don't have to. By our mere presence in their lives, we make their lives better. We make them soar further. We make them live longer. We make them earn more. On the flip side, like so many people out there like, oh, Tonya, oh, you don't have a man, all this and the other. And there are women who are waking up. Men decrease women's lifespan. Listen, the happiest women in society are those who are single and child-free. There are a lot of burdens that come on a woman with being in a relationship, especially with the wrong man. This is why, on the flip side, the asset that a man brings into the relationship is the asset of that woman being able to rest in her femininity. The asset that he brings is his provision, because a woman is going to give up so much of herself in that relationship that if she is not able to have her femininity replenished with the provisions that he provides for her to rest in that feminine, she will become broken down and dilapidated. The average black woman is on par with white women to escape the claws, of poverty until she saddles herself with a burdensome black man. When a woman gets herself a man who has the means to be able to have her rest in her femininity, she's able to eat good food, she's able to get a personal trainer, she's able to get spa days and have her skin taken care of, she's able to have the freedom to be outdoors 9 a.m. on a Wednesday morning, living carefree. She has that ability if that is what she chooses. When a woman has stress and all this other, it riddles her body with disease. So ladies, you have to make the decision of what it is that you want. Do you want the man? Do you want the man who is bringing struggle and strife into your life, decreasing your lifespan, and then go off and be like, well, you was the come-up woman, you were as good as I could get then? Or do you want the man who has done the internal work on himself and who is looking for a woman who is a complement, not a compliment, to give him some empty compliments? Oh, big boy now. Look at you in your big boy pants. You big boy. The compliment or the complement. The person who is the yin to his yang. The person who puts the wind beneath his wings. We think that we're doing them a favor by taking care of them, but actually you're holding them back. When you look at them like this, and you say, no, I believe in you, you could go out there and you get it, you got this. You got this. When you look at them like that, versus, oh, come here, let me burp you. Come on, give mama belch, give mama belch. Oh, look stinky, oh, which one? One propels him and one pacifies him. I take some questions and then we're going to wrap up the video. All right, here we go. All right, so I'm here. I'm going to take some questions and we're going to jump out of here. Put your questions in now because I'm going to save this video and then I'm going to chop it up and upload it. Hi, good morning. Yeah, people walking their dogs past. Okay, so let's get the questions in. What are the questions? All right. Some HTV say rather be single and sane than coupled up and crazy. Listen, keep going. Do you think it should matter how much money a woman had in order to have a man of means? So 1, 2, 3, that's a good question. Earning money takes time. It really depends. So like is going to attract like. People who require the best are going to attract people who like providing the best. The younger you are, the less money you have just by the sheer nature of the law of working, right? The less money you have, the younger you are, the less money you have. The older you are, the more money you have. So you exchange your youth for money. Do you feel that it's worth exchanging your youth? It depends on whether or not that's an internal driving force. The best investment that you could make is the investment in a personal trainer, in high quality skincare products, in beauty tips and techniques, and in learning to cultivate yourself on the inside as a woman. Those are the best investments that you can make with your time. Exchanging your youth, and because like when you're young, everything is brand new. Your skin is tighter, your body is firmer, your metabolism is faster. So just by the very nature of what are the things that we consider to be quote unquote beautiful, those things come naturally when you're younger. So you have a greater chance of You have a greater chance of being able to attract a wider variety of men, and then you have to single it down once they come into your life to see who's a good fit for you or not. But the younger you are, the more new everything on your body is. So take advantage of whatever youth you have right now, and wherever it is that you are right now as a woman, use that to go out there, attract the best man that you can get for what you're presenting. All right. Let's see. All right. What advice do you think is vital for young Black women? All right. Advice that I think is, and listen, you all, if my platform has been a benefit to you, put it out there into the universe to support the content that supports you. If you have benefited from my content, $5 worth, $10, $20, if you've benefited from my content, create the circular flow. Create the circular flow and contribute. Go to TonyaTKO.com/support. Support my platform and create the circular flow, because money is energy. So I'm going to answer your questions, but please, I don't have super chat on my channel, because there's some content creators, if you want to ask a question, you have to put in the super chat, and then they'll answer your questions if you do the super chat. I don't have super chat on my channel because YouTube takes 40% of that. If you want to support me, because like the people I know who want to support me, go to my page, TonyaTKO.com/support, and support. So the advice that I have for young Black women, the biggest advice that I have for you is, if you want a Black man, and you want a Black man who is going to have the natural internal driving forces to get married, to want to be abundant, you're going to have to branch your circle out. If you want a Black man, you're going to have to start dating Black men from other cultures and other countries as well. And then just broaden. There are going to be some people like, oh, these people, they only want this, and then they're going to marry someone from their own. Have conversations with them up front. Look inside their life. Do they have who are interculturally married? How does their family accept intercultural? Do they introduce you to their family? Are their sisters married interculturally? Do they date? So you have to ask these questions. Ask them whether or not they would marry someone from a different culture straight up. Ask them in the very beginning. And if they hem and haw, you know what the deal is. So my advice to young Black women is to broaden your scope. If you like Caucasian men and that's the thing, and you're attracted to them, you just like who looks good or who treats you nice, you go and you do that. But you're going to have to broaden. A lot of Black American men, ADOS, have been raised in a culture where there's a lot of things that were handed down from slavery that are embedded into our DNA. Let me not even say some. There are a lot of things that happened during slavery. There was the practice of putting down your children. The slave master would come by and be like, oh, he's getting big, ain't he? And the mother would be like, oh, that little runt, no, he's cross-eyed and got 2 left feet. He ain't good, because they knew that the biggest and the strongest would be taken away. So there were things that they did to coddle and keep their boys small so that they would not be taken away. And then on the flip side, the transverse side, the women had to be the ones who were big and strong. There are a lot of things that are passed down through ADOS culture that may not be conducive. There are a lot of them who feel that their biggest asset is their penis. There are a lot of them who don't want to be faithful, who don't want to stay with just one woman, who find that they feel that the prize is in their cock, so that they go out there becoming community peen. There's a lot of things that are embedded in the culture which may not be conducive to what it is that you want in a long-term committed monogamous relationship. So you're going to have to broaden and branch, interview a lot of different men from a lot of different cultures and see who's the right fit for you. Next question. What's your take on a seemingly new campaign to get heterosexual women to date bisexual men knowingly? Would that net extra competition? There's already more women than men. Okay, so, you know what? What I'm going to do is I'm going to answer 1-2 questions, and then I'm going to jump out of here. I'm going to say this. There are a lot of, these words are just words: bisexual, polyamorous, pansexual, interest. There's a lot of different words that are coming up. When it comes to sexuality, sexuality is on a fluid scale. I think that we need to do away with these labels because we try to put people in these boxes. There are a lot of things that are going on out there that you would not happen. I can tell that you're somebody who's not watched or you have not listened to my podcast. I did an entire, go listen to the podcast that I did about Tank, because I did an entire segment on fluid sexuality. So go listen to that. I think that it is in your best interest to open up your eyes to the fact that very little people are 100% heterosexual. Everybody else is on a sliding scale, 80-20, 20-80, 45-55. Everybody else is on a sliding scale. So, and you know what? Stay blind if you want to. Stay blind if you want to. I'm a teacher. You want to vet him without running in. You know what? I don't know what type of vetting you're talking about, but I did do a course, Will My Man Be Wealthy? If you're talking about financially vetting, you need to look into that. Okay. All right. Do I think online dating is a good or a bad idea? I think that it's just like any type of shopping. You know, there's going to be some things that don't fit, some that do. You find a diamond in the rough. Your energy and where you are in your life is going to attract your mate to you. That mate may come from online, he may come from the grocery store, but open up your avenue. Stay active in the dating realm. Okay, so listen. Why don't we do this? You can write me your questions privately. You can go over to TonyaTKO.com/support. When you do that, you get a special email address to be able to write to me, to submit topics, etc. So I've taken questions today. I wanted to get this video together so that I could upload it, because this is a question that many people had. Look, you enjoy my content. I enjoy creating content. Create a way for me to continue to be able to create content. Create a way for you to be able to nourish yourself with the content, because people are going to travel towards the path of least resistance, the path that is most nutritive. You know what I mean? And if making videos is that, if doing podcasts is that, I'm going to go in a direction where I'm needed and where people appreciate me. So go appreciate me. I'm going to give you my look. I give people, let me go give you my look. Go to TonyaTKO.com/support. Support the content. Some people who require less and some who require more. Support my content. All right, let me look again, and then we're going to jump out of here. All right, so listen, I'm going to jump out of here. See what I'm saying? Look, there are 160 people on here. It's gone up to as much as 200, and there's 74 likes on the video. Like the video. That's very simple, right? You can close out the live chat button, click on like, and come back. It's like, do I feel appreciated when I see that people may or may not appreciate me? I go where I'm appreciated. I go where I'm celebrated. And people on podcasts seem to be a lot more appreciative of my content. People on the podcasting side, they, without me even asking, they go and they contribute monthly to the podcast because they love my content. They just go and start contributing. Here on YouTube, like, you all are like, oh, I love seeing your face and all this other stuff. Really? I need to feel the love. You like seeing my face? You like these lessons? Let me feel the love. On that note, listen, I'm going to jump out of here. Oh, you all are asking how much? Listen, there's a way to give what it is that you contribute, what it is that you can. Contribute what feels comfortable to you. There's something on there as little as 99 cents. If you can't contribute 99 cents a month to the content that you love, like if 1,000 people each gave 90 cents a month to my platform, that would be $1,000 a month. I'd be like, oh, people appreciate me $1,000 worth. You know what I'm saying? So go and do that. TonyaTKO.com/support. And also my book is on there. I have hypnotherapeutic MP3s, and I will see you all in the next video. Tonya TKO, and I'm out. Peace.